guys? Welcome to the number 9 ever edition of WWMS, the Fairfield Woods live morning announcements every Friday here on the Fan Woods YouTube channel. Last week was a great episode, and this one will be an even better one. We have some more movie news and gaming news for the public, some news about sports, especially the NBA playoffs and first round series already wrapping up, and of course, our history lesson of April 28th. But let's start off, as always, with our joke of the day. Here is our joke of the day. What do you get when you cross a snowman and a vampire? Frostbite. Hope you guys got some enjoyment out of that. To put a smile on your faces on a wonderful Friday morning. Like we usually do here on the show, here are some famous things about April 28th. Surprisingly, there are not a lot of famous things that happened on April 28th in the past. The most famous thing to happen on this day was on April 28th, 1967, with boxer Muhammad Ali appearing for his scheduled induction into the U.S. Armed Forces in Houston. Why was this such a big deal? Well, it wasn't that simple. The consensually considered greatest boxer of all time refused to answer to his name 3 times, and if he continued to refuse to, it would be a felony which would result in 5 years in prison and a $10,000 fine. And yet he still refused. Because of this, also on April 28th, his boxing license was taken away, and so was his heavyweight championship. He still refused to join, and to this day still has never received his heavyweight championship. He ended up coming back to boxing in 1970 and continuing where he left off as the greatest on the ring. Let's get into our movie news. For our horror fans, movies such as Megan and Missing have also been released over these past few months. Some other horror movies some have liked are John Wick Chapter 4, Scream 5, and 65, which have also all gotten great ratings. A movie that recently came out on Netflix that I would highly recommend is Murder Mystery 2. Starring Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, the production is a continuation of the crazy murder storylines from the original Murder Mystery. While it seems like a scary title, it is actually a very funny comedy with 2 of the best comedy actors the industry has to offer. While I like the storyline from the original Murder Mystery more, I would add this to your list of possible movies to watch in the future. For our sports fans, the movie Big George Foreman comes out today in theaters. Big George Foreman is about the all-time great boxer George Foreman and his comeback story. Foreman retired from the game of boxing, but had to come back to the ring due to financial issues. He now was in the midst of a run that would make him the oldest heavyweight champion of all time. Foreman is one of the greatest boxers of all time, winning 2 heavyweight championships and 1 gold medal at the Olympics. And this movie will be a tribute to one of the greatest boxing careers of all time and one of the greatest comeback stories in sports history. Football fans, Aaron Rodgers has finally been traded. After what seems like years, but what has actually just been 2 months, Rodgers was finally traded to the New York Jets in a very interesting trade. The Packers received a ton of pick compensation from the Jets, which included pick number 13 from last night's draft, a second-round pick being used tonight, a 6th-round pick being used later this weekend, and a 2024 second-round pick, which will become a first-round pick if Rodgers plays 65% of snaps for New York this season. The Jets also received draft compensation while getting Aaron Rodgers from Green Bay, which was the 15th overall pick from last night's draft, and a 2023 5th-round pick. Rodgers is a 4-time MVP and a future Hall of Famer, and is playing for his first team other than Green Bay for the first time in his career. The 38-year-old is coming off of a season where he threw for 25 touchdowns and just 12 interceptions, and nearly led Green Bay to the playoffs for the 4th straight season. As for Green Bay, it appears they will have the 3-year pro quarterback Jordan Love at the helm. Love, who was picked in the first round by Green Bay in the 2020 NFL Draft, has only attempted 83 passes in his 3 years in the league, sitting behind Rodgers, and in fact didn't even take 1 snap on the field in 2020. Love does have potential, but is yet to be seen on the NFL field thus far. But now we will see if he can really be A-Rod's successor in Green Bay. For our basketball fans, the NBA playoffs have also been a very big deal. We've seen a ton of surprises, and one of them was the Brooklyn Nets getting eliminated in round 1 to number 3 seeded Philadelphia. The 76ers were the only team in the first round to sweep their opponent, and they did it in dominating fashion, winning games 1 and 2 at home by a combined 32 points. The biggest question surrounding the 76ers, though, is Joel Embiid, as the league's leading scorer suffered a sprained LCL in Game 3 of the series. His status for Series number 2 is to be determined, even though there is a possibility he is still ready for the start of the series. Tuesday night featured 2 teams moving on to round 2. The Clippers, despite having 7 different guys in double figures, lost Game 5 of the series 136-130 due to many different things. One of those things was Devin Booker, who finished the game with 47 points and 25 in what was a 50-point third quarter for Phoenix. Despite Los Angeles' consistent scoring, Booker and Durant each had more points than anybody on the Clips, as the dynamic offensive duo propelled the Suns to their 3rd straight second-round appearance. The Denver Nuggets also moved on during Tuesday night's affair against the Minnesota Timberwolves, winning the game 112-109. Ladies and gentlemen, playoff Jamal is a thing, as Jamal Murray finished the game with a team-leading 35 points for Denver, and the 26-year-old is averaging 27 points and 6 assists thus far this postseason. That, along with Nikola Jokic's 28-point triple-double, was too much for an 8-seed in Minnesota to handle as the number 1 seed moves on to round 2. For some news for teams not in the postseason, the Houston Rockets have made a big move by making the shocking decision to sign Ime Udoka as the franchise's new head coach. Udoka was a longtime assistant for the Spurs, and had short stints as an assistant in Philadelphia and Brooklyn before becoming the Celtics head coach. With Boston, Udoka had big success, leading Boston to a 51-win season, where they then won the Eastern Conference for the first time since 2010. Even though they lost to the Warriors in the finals, it was a very successful year for Udoka in his first year as a head coach. However, he was fired by Boston due to violating team protocol and was jobless during this year's regular season. Although he is getting a second stint trying to bring Houston, who finished with the second worst record in the NBA, competitive basketball for the first time since James Harden left in 2021. He is the successor of former Houston head coach Stephen Silas, who only won 25% of his games in his 3 seasons with the organization. Some breaking and interesting news for our soccer fans is that Lionel Messi, according to FC Barcelona president Joan Laporta, is leaving PSG and heading back to Barcelona unless he has his mind set on a possible retirement. Messi, 35, is undoubtedly one of the greatest soccer players of all time, already cementing a legacy that very few have and very few will. After the Argentine won his first World Cup in Qatar in December, he publicly said there's nothing else to do, which could have been foreshadowing a possible retirement if he decides that is what he wants to do over these next few months. This move by Messi will also shake up soccer, as we will see. We will have to wait and see what happens with De Jong and Lewandowski, who are also with Barcelona. For our gamer news this week, Ubisoft pulled out of the E3 2023 event to host their own live event. They could be showcasing Assassin's Creed Mirage, The Crew Motorfest, and maybe Skull and Bones. The Lord of Rings Gollum gets a new release date and is supposed to be released in May. Another game releasing in May is LEGO 2K Drive, a free roam open world LEGO game. The Legend of Zelda Tears of Kingdom comes out with OLED and accessories revealed, possibly including Triforce, Switch Dock, Sheikah's pattern Joy-Cons for $359.99, and also including a Nintendo Pro Controller Tears of the Kingdom Edition and a Nintendo Switch Tears of the Kingdom Edition carrying case. We are unsure about the price of the last two. We hope you guys did enjoy the 9th ever edition of WWMS, our live school morning announcements every Friday here on the Fanwoods YouTube channel. We hope you guys did learn something new and got some information about a variety of topics. Enjoy the NBA playoffs and enjoy the NFL draft this weekend. Shout out to YouTube channels Mr. TC Gamer, King Cherry Lemon, and Sports for Kids. Please go check them out. Thanks so much to a great behind-the-scenes crew of Noah Weiner, Parshwa Shaw, and Alexander Majeski. Signing off here from Fairfield Woods Middle School, I am Chase Coburn, and we'll see you next Friday.